And we're back. I'm your host, Tassan Aline.
Co-host Kyle Williams.
In Apartheid, Michigan. This is show
Yes,
number
it is,
Apartheid,
Apartheid.
Detroit. All over the country, black folks are being beat down by a corrupt law enforcement agency. Now, you may not think it's corrupt. Look at the city of Detroit Police Department. What do they call that? Deep state? Deep cover, whatever they
Deep
call
cover,
it.
yeah.
Look, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen, you may say, what y'all talking about? Y'all done read a few lines in that book and then went crazy. You really? But what about the rape kits? What about the rape kits? They finally got around to cleaning a lot of that up, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody had to donate some money when the money was already in the Detroit Police Department. But where did the money go? City Council? Where did the money go, Livonia Mike? Where did the money go? They don't even want to audit the police department. That's how much money they got floating around in that budget, being siphoned off. They got the money from the federal government and the drugs. They went to chasing the drug dealer, the suspected drug dealers with traffic stops. And they said, forget about the rape kits. Forget about homicides. Forget about robberies. You still hear that, right? They won't comment on a robbery. Now they too busy stopping people. They're too busy stopping you for a tail light. A lie about a busted tail light. About a lie about your lights not working. You going, but what do they want to do? They want to stop you because you fit some kind of illusionary, phony drug profile. Look at the women that are being harassed. You're talking about the Me Too movement. You don't even know you're being harassed by the police. They stopping you. You know you wasn't speeding. I hear this a lot of time from people. You know you wasn't speeding. The man just followed me, gave me a ticket anyway because they want that drug interdiction money. They're really saying you a drug dealer and we are profiling you. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? They couldn't do the rape kits for checking out the drugs. They set the rape kits on the shelf. It's not funny.
It's not.
Yeah.
You gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And guess what? They had a woman police chief. Ella Bullen Cummings. She was police chief back then. Man, oh man, when you put on that blue. Oh, they forget about they were a woman. They forget about they black. They forget about anything, don't they?
You know, they tell them that you got blue blood. You don't have no red blood no more. You got blue blood.
Whoa. They put it on and it's something else. And they refuse to do the normal job. They refuse to do that because they want that money. They're getting paid by the federal government. So everything they do, especially when they stop you in the traffic stop, they doing drug interdiction and we don't even know it. And you don't have to let them in the car, but Ville was right when she said they quit smoking that weed. Man, you could smell that weed 2 blocks down. You be looking to see, who's smoking? Where did it come from? What y'all doing? I know some of y'all say, hey, can I join? Can I hit that? I know some of them be saying, well, that's some good stuff. Look how strong it smells. Oh, yeah. Don't realize. Do not realize. And look, this is an attack on the Fourth Amendment. That's the killing part.
Yeah,
the lady says right here, the Fourth Amendment, where, you know, they're getting, the Fourth Amendment says that they got to have a warrant to search your property.
Illegal search and seizure.
Illegal search and seizure. So under this stuff, they're going around searching people. And they got Supreme Court cases where you have to say something. You got to say no. You don't want them. You don't want to be searched. And so that's that Republican-dominated court. They happy with Donald Trump. He put the conservatives on there. So you're gonna see more of that. You know, and we got to be wise. We got to start being wise, young blood. And you got to open up your eyes, blind man, and what's coming. There's a hurricane coming, and it's coming toward us.
Yes, That's right.
We used to tell you Detroit was the epicenter. What do you mean epicenter? The eye of the hurricane. They sitting there, you right in it, don't know it.
Mm-mm.
They coming after you, sitting around playing them little games, and well, I got my medical marijuana card, but you still going to jail. That's the crazy part. You still going to jail. You gonna vote for medical, recreational marijuana in the state of Michigan instead of vote no. You gonna vote to let them have it, but you're the one going to jail.
Yeah.
You're the one going to jail. They're going to block black folks up. And you're going to swear up and down you didn't do nothing wrong. It's legal. It's not legal under the federal government, and ain't nobody telling you. You don't hear the police telling you that.
They ain't gonna tell you a word.
You don't hear them saying that because they licking their chops on all this overtime money they're getting. Now, don't get me wrong about Benny Napoleon. I know y'all thought I was kind of rough on the man. But,
No, you just told the truth.
and they won't tell us nothing. But look at Mike Duggan when he was prosecutor. And they had all them stings and raids on the prostitution thing, but that was still that drug money. And then he was getting, not only that, the forfeiture money. Because they take your car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Livonia Mike haven't shown his fangs yet because he's so greedy he's trying to get all this money from the demolition. So he don't have time to get back to you, but wait till that demolition money run out and see if he don't get you. See if the police don't jump on you. Talking about, and the people were going into the drugstore. The people were going into the drugstore over on 8 Mile. What's that shop to say? 8 Mile in DeQuinta? Going into the drugstore, and the police officer talking about she was being solicited. Even by the Mexicans that couldn't even speak English. Man, they didn't care. These people are brutal. They don't care. They'll tell any lie, and then the judge go and just wink at them. Carla, you on there?
Great show, gentlemen. Great show.
Thank you. Thank you. What's going on, dude?
Driver's responsibility. This past, as of February, the end of February, in March, you don't have to pay it if you had a payment agreement before February, a repayment agreement before February. However, if you got a letter in the mail on like March the 2nd, you still will have to pay all the way up until October the 1st, and then you won't have to pay anymore. Please explain that to me.
Well, that new law that gets rid of driver responsibility goes into effect October the 1st.
Okay.
And as we were discussed earlier, that you have to get a copy of the law. We got to get a copy of that law because the judge, either the judge would be responsible for telling you about that or giving that information to the Secretary of State, and they had so many days to tell
the Treasury's collection office. The state of Michigan Treasury's collection office.
The treasurer is the one that's collecting the money. The judge is the one when you go to court that says you violated the law, and so they got to turn this information to you. The court either have to send it out, or the Secretary of State have to send it out. And what I'm saying, more than likely, they have so many days to send it out.
Yeah.
And, they don't care. They want to get the last dime. They want to squeeze every penny out of the black folk. And I'm saying...
So why is it that they don't... Okay, why? They're stopping it. You don't have to pay any more money if you had a repayment agreement. But then they send you information saying that you need to make a repayment agreement after the deadline to squeeze that last $120 or whatever it is out of you.
That's what it's all about. They want the money. They don't care. But what I'm saying is, if we get, I don't have a copy of the law, but somebody needs to get a copy of the law. You or maybe Carl get a copy of the law. We get a copy of the law to find out what it says. We got to get both the new law and the old law, because the old one would say who's responsible for notifying you. They have so many days. They don't have forever. And so if they haven't notified you within the time limit, then you don't have that done. You have to let them know that. So, hey, they got to do something. They got to back up. And that's one of the things that everybody should do, and we need to talk about that more often, is on these traffic tickets, as we see what they're doing now. And you need to, it tells you on your ticket that you can respond by mail.
That's right.
And the reason for responding by mail is to jam the system up. See, we got to think about what we're doing. If one person, believe me, they read them letters.
Oh yeah, they read them. Come on, fighting one now.
They read what you say. I have. Anyway, I have done it myself a few times, but hey, when I got a ticket out there in Dearborn years ago, I said, I can't be going out there. Let me write this to the judge. And but I had to end up going out there. They gave me a court date, and the man, I told him they act like they was in the twilight zone, and the judge asked me about it. He said, "Well, twilight? What are you talking about?" I say that's the time between night. That is the time between night and day, and you can't hardly see well. But this crazy judge, what the police officer did when I wrote my letter in, then he turned around and superseded that ticket with another one. Well, when you supersede something, that canceled the other ticket. They didn't think I knew what that meant. Look, when they say anything, the words you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, you get your dictionary. Look that word up. But
even if you think you know, look it up.
Yeah. But by me being a building inspector back then, at that particular time, we wrote superseding notices. So I was familiar with it because I looked
city employees.
City employee. I looked it up then because I saw a superseding violation. I said, what is he talking about? So that canceled the old one. So now they canceled the ticket. How you calling me in the court for another ticket?
And you haven't violated any law.
I haven't violated any law. The man, how if this is the first, how you gonna say you wrote me a ticket today for something that happened last week, and you can't do that.
You can't do that.
But they didn't want to dismiss my tickets, They just want to know.
Okay, thank you for the explanation, gentlemen. But the folks that have those repayment agreements, they don't have to pay anymore. But if you make a repayment agreement, they make sure you have to, they'll tell you your final date is like, if you got a letter on, say, March the 2nd, by April the 2nd, you have to be in a repayment agreement or they will suspend your driver's license. Okay, they're not playing. And I think that people are hearing about not having to pay, so they don't pay. Oh, my goodness, we got an election coming up that folks won't have a driver's license.
Well, there we go again. Yeah, there we go again. But they can get a state ID. They can get a state ID.
But you probably won't even know that your driver's license is suspended. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
the way this stuff is all chaotic, and you be that. What I'm saying is, guys, now get off the phone. You pay your tickets. You go to court. You pay the ticket. You think everything is okay. Thank you for telling and explaining it to me.
All right. Thank you for making it here.
Right.
And Carl, that's something else about that driver's responsibility thing. And when they suspend your license and you paid the tickets, they don't tell you that you have to pay the money to be reinstated.
Yeah.
Even though you cleared up all your tickets, and what is it, $45 or whatever you got to pay to be reinstated? Ladies and gentlemen, to have your license reinstated. So now you still driving under a suspended license because you didn't pay $45 that they didn't make you aware of.
A clearance fee.
But they didn't make you aware of it.
No, they don't.
So something wrong with that. See, a lot of that stuff, look, we need to get some workshops going on around the city so that we can see how we got to keep our driving records clear because they're using those traffic stops to get rid of us.
Yeah, I got a ticket the other day. Parking ticket, though.
Well, you lucky. That had nothing to do with your license.
I wouldn't even buy a meter, though.
Oh, they don't care. The meter made the same thing. We ain't going to get to talk about the parking tickets, man. They crazy. Well, at least you know it's $20 was in these
No, mine was $45. That's why I'm going to challenge it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the $45. But you know it's $20. They never voted it in, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
And so how come the council?
None of that.
None of that.
That's a violation of the Administrative Procedure Act.
Well, that's another thing We're going to talk about that next week because we down on time. But look, ladies and gentlemen, they keep telling us that you have a board like this
Review
financial review board that's over the city of Detroit. That's an illegal board that's over the city of Detroit.
Thank you.
It violates the Michigan Constitution. Livonia Mike will not take him to court. He's happy with that position because he's suburbanite. He's not interested in the city of Detroit except to take it over. He wrestled control out of Detroit's hands. And he was with the bankruptcy.
That's right.
See, y'all forgot about that. What he say? Oh, no, I wasn't. How come he wasn't? The emails, the Robert Davis emails.
Prove that.
He proved that. He said, oh, no, we got to get Kevin O. We got to get somebody black in charge of the bankruptcy. Oh, yeah, he was there. They was asking him for his advice. He sat on the EEA board.
Y'all keep forgetting, him and Snyder are friends.
Well, they don't care nothing about that man. Long as he paying them preachers and giving them a chicken dinner, they happy. They don't care nothing about that. But ladies and gentlemen, we need to be aware of that. Now, the other thing, and we're going to keep going over it, and you'll say, oh, no, Hassan, they put him there, but it violates the Michigan Constitution. That board violates the Michigan Constitution. Simple as that. You didn't know that the state of Michigan gave the city of Detroit and Grand Rapids and the rest of the cities their city charters. You didn't know that. But now that we know that, under this Constitution we have now, that the cities are able to make their own charters and even amend charters heretofore given by the state legislature.
That's right.
It's in there. So if we can amend a charter that the state legislature gave the city of Detroit, that means that the state legislature has no power to amend our city charters. They have no power to give Detroit a city charter. I don't care how many laws they pass, they violate the Michigan Constitution. Now, how is it? Oh, that's right. They don't even know that, do they?
No.
They don't even know. They don't even know that law is an attempt to amend the city charter. You say the law is legal. If that law is legal, then it amended the city charter. They don't understand that, do they?
No, they don't understand.
Because y'all too blinded by the white. Y'all still looking at these white folks and you're blind. Where the governor said and the mayor said and they lied.
That's right.
Who you talking about? Gangster Snyder? That's the only thing come out of his mouth is a lie. Livonia Mike, he's lying. If he said it didn't, hey, why don't you ask him?
And
He gonna, what
Duggan,
you think?
I'm going to bring something in next week about Duggan's history.
Oh, you talking about the Malice Green and all
Yeah,
that?
well, there's some other things that he
Okay.
did, too, that I wasn't even aware of.
Well, we need to hear that. We need to hear all that good stuff. But look, y'all, we need to look, ladies and gentlemen, especially you young blood that's being affected. Don't pay too much attention to old school for the simple reason they're not coming out with their book. If they're not reading it from the book, I don't care what they said, they heard, or what they read. They don't have a book to show you. They don't tell you what book. That's why we got to come in here with a book. We're not going to fall in that trap. People, they're not, if it's something they criticize and let them, they're going to criticize Michelle Alexander's book. I think she was a former, I know she worked for the ACLU.
Yeah.
She's an attorney. She worked for the ACLU and did some other things. And so she's one of the few courageous people that stood up and said what's going on. That's the difference. There's a lot of people that know what's going on. You would expect your own folks, you would expect a brother or sister that's working for the police department to tell you what's going on, but they don't do that. Benny Napoleon haven't came and told us nothing about the laws and what they're doing. All they did was get fat down there with the police department. And that's why the so-called crime rate. Now we know why. Look, all we got to do is think about it. Think about it. They had another priority. You were not the top priority. The citizens were not priority. So their whole thing was giving people traffic tickets all over the Wayne County, Oakland County. If you were driving while black, you got a ticket somewhere. Going to work out in Sterling Heights, down in Romulus, Brownstown. They're giving us tickets everywhere we went. Now you know why. Now you know why they were slow to come out on a burglary. They were slow to come out on domestic violence or a shootout. And they never, did they catch anybody? They didn't catch too many people on the homicide.
No.
They could talk about how many people got killed, but that the rate where they solved the homicide, that's very low rate. Unless the people got on Facebook with their silly behind. Talking about
silly.
it. Huh?
You're right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how they caught them. But now we know why we didn't get the service, because they were doing something else. That's why we need to get the council to get an audit going on that police department. All that money poured into the police department, they keep saying they broke. How can you be broke and you got all this government money? You got all these helicopters and hand grenades and grenade launchers. I call them rocket launchers.
They got all kind of stuff there, man.
Y'all got all kind of stuff in the Detroit Police Department, and they still crying broke, but that's the way to do it. You don't want to act like you got any money. I understand that.
If you say you got some money, then you won't get no more.
Right,
So
right.
I don't care how much you got to still cry and say you don't have any.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fastest hour in television anywhere. I don't know
Yes,
where
it
it goes, but it goes. I'm your host, Hassan Aline.
I'm your co-host, Carl Williams.
And we'll be back next week. Tune in every
Every
Tuesday. Every Tuesday, tune in. We'll be here.
9 to 10 or sometime from 9 to 10:30.
Till next week. Peace.